Hey, how's it going, Nostalgics? Welcome back to another video here on the channel. And today, guys, I actually wanted to do something pretty cool with you. And today, I want to unbox a copy of one of my favorite video games of all time, in its original packaging, that is, Final Fantasy VI. Technically labeled as Final Fantasy III, because North America didn't receive the other Final Fantasy games, but it may say 3, but it's actually Final Fantasy VI as we all know it as today. So this is the game, guys, and I'm going to be unboxing it with you guys today. This copy I actually got earlier on today. It's in a protective case here, if you can't tell. This one cost quite a bit. This is one of the rare Super Nintendo games to have, and honestly, just RPGs or Final Fantasy games in general to actually obtain. But I love this game. I played the PS1 copy of Final Fantasy VI when I first played it in 2021 is when I first played the game, so... But I love it. This is one of the only pieces of merchandise really available for Final Fantasy VI. Not much was actually made. 7 is my personal favorite game, and I collect mostly for that one, but I do try and pick up merchandise where I can. So, without any further ado, let's get into the unboxing, because I haven't actually looked inside this thing yet, but it is fully complete. So as you guys can see here, this is Final Fantasy VI, out of the packaging and whatnot. This is actually one of the nicer Super Nintendo games I've actually come across in terms of condition. I've owned a few Super Nintendo games in my day, mostly a few years ago, but honestly none of them really for collection purposes, but this is definitely one of the cleaner boxes. It's actually in really good condition, with the exception of a little bit of, I guess that might be dust or old adhesive or something like that on it. But either way, it's in really good shape. This box is in fantastic condition. So let's crack open the contents here and see what we got. Alright, so now we got the flap open, guys. Let us see what exactly is in this, because I know that this is fully complete, and it comes with actually a few more things than what you may expect. Not just the game card itself, but a few other extras and whatnot in here, because this is an expansive RPG and whatnot. So, we got the manual and whatnot in there, as to be expected. I'm actually really impressed with a lot of old school game manuals. Let's see here. We have a Nintendo Power, looks like an old Nintendo Power subscription or a player's guide of some sort. Obviously, the standard paperwork that looks like every Super Nintendo game would come with, equivalent to PS1 paperwork and whatnot I'm used to seeing with all sorts of different games. This is actually one of the more curious things that we'll get into here. This is actually a map. For those of you who haven't played the game, there are two different worlds. It's the same planet and everything, but halfway through the game there's an event that happens that causes the world of Balance, the main planet that you explore, to be completely transformed and the continents to split apart and whatnot into what's known as the world of Ruin. So there's two different versions of the planet, if you want to call it that, that you explore. When the landmass permanently changes because of story events. So that's the map and whatnot there, which we'll get into as well. And this here is the coup de grace of the entire thing. The actual physical game, which, as you guys can see here, is completely wrapped. I didn't actually know that it was wrapped in the original. I don't know if this is the original packaging and whatnot that it came in. To be honest, it doesn't really matter because it's nicely wrapped up regardless here. So that label looks really, really clean as well. This is definitely a really, really nice looking cartridge of it, but obviously the box and the contents of it are just as important. So this is, I really like this. As you guys can see, the label's nice. There's no creases or tears or anything like that in it that I can see. So that's really, really nice. I like that. But let's look into the actual contents of the box. So to kind of go through some of this stuff a bit, this is the general Super Nintendo game paperwork. Every single game under the sun has like the generic paperwork that comes with it. Still cool to have as part of the box, because the game came out so long ago, but there's nothing really too special about it. This here is pretty cool. This is basically, and this also came, I imagine, with a lot of the Super Nintendo games. Again, equivalent to other games I've purchased on other consoles, but it's like a Nintendo Power subscription, basically. It's really cool to still have this, though. I think you would send this in to get a subscription of the Nintendo Power Club, and they would send you the magazines showing the latest and greatest games coming out at that time. So this is still pretty cool to have. Really, really cool. Nintendo Power, I know, is incredibly collectible, so a lot of people really like it. That's the general paperwork, though, that would come with it. Let's get into the other stuff for Final Fantasy VI. Now, I've played this game a few times before, at least twice seriously, and I can tell you this is the one half of the map I already unwrapped for you guys for the World of Balance. This is actually scarily accurate to how the actually looks in game, and this is coming from a game that is completely made of pixel art, which is absolutely beautiful, by the way. But this is the map here and whatnot, pretty accurate and whatnot. We have all the 3 main continents and whatnot in the World of Balance, with all the main locations that you visit marked in terms of towns and general locations, and these are all the locations and whatnot that you visit throughout the game. Actually, looking through these are actually all these are all pretty much chronological, actually, in terms of where you visit. Because you start out in Narsh. Now, granted, okay, not everything here, but Figaro Castle, Sabin's Cabin, Mount Colts. All of this is pretty much in order for story progression throughout the World of Balance where you actually visit. So it's all pretty straightforward in the game up to that point, visiting a bunch of locations chronologically. So this is the World of Balance side, and if we turn it over, this is actually the part of the game that makes it so awesome to me, too, is the World of Ruin. Once again, this is the map and whatnot, marked with all the main locations that you can go and visit. The cool thing about the World of Ruin is that you can do things in any order. You have the option of not doing all the side content, recruiting your party members again and everything, but you're missing so much of the game if you don't do that, and it's canonical to the ending anyway that you actually went and recruited all your party members and concluded their backstories and explored this new World of Ruin. These are all the locations that you visit. They're all the same locations, like I said, same planet, just split apart, continents and locations completely different now, new story beats. A lot of side content, actually. But these are all the locations. You'll recognize most of them. There are some new ones in there, like the Colosseum and the Fanatics Tower. That's completely new. As well as, like, Kefka's Tower. Eboshi Rock, that's also a new one as well. I believe that's Thamaza, I believe? Yeah. I thought it was like Ebbett's Rock or something like that. But either way, that's a location for a side quest. But yeah, this is the map and whatnot. Pretty cool. Very accurate depiction of both the World of Ruin and World of Balance. So that's really cool. And finally, guys, this is the manual. Honestly, I love older game manuals and whatnot. Up until I think past the PS2 era and whatnot, they had some fantastic manuals. But obviously, as you get further in like the Xbox 360, PS3, and the new games, the manuals lost their charm very much so. I'm not going to go through the entire thing, but I will give you guys a highlight here of like what some of the manual looks like and whatnot, and just some of the beautiful and amazing artwork for Final Fantasy VI. They obviously go over like all the moves, the characters, how to play the game, how the RPG itself is set up and all that. They do have some artwork and whatnot in here too, as you guys can see. That's like Terra on the Magitech armor, I'm assuming in Vector. Whereas in here too, she's like overlooking Vector, which is the capital. And there's Terra in the Magitech armor. Obviously the game doesn't look like this. This is just like the artwork that was made for the art direction for the game itself, because it's pixel art, which looks, again, beautiful to this day. But this is the initial artwork that was made, that the characters and whatnot were based off of, and environments and all that. But definitely looks really cool. I love old school manuals like this, especially for older games. But it's just really cool. It's awesome to see this kind of thing, because you don't see this stuff nowadays. But yeah, this is the manual for Final Fantasy VI. And that's going to do it for this video, guys. That basically concludes the unboxing of Final Fantasy VI on the Super Nintendo, or 3 if you prefer. That's all the contents and everything. This is actually a cool game to find, because there's not much merchandise available for it, and it is one of the games that I do collect for in my video game merchandise collection. This is one game I was definitely eyeballing. Unfortunately, there's not much else out there outside of a few figures and whatnot, and promotional material and all that, but honestly, this is one of the best things you can get, and even finding the original Super Nintendo copy isn't cheap either. Obviously, there are other versions and cheaper ways to play Final Fantasy VI. You have the mobile version, which doesn't look like it has the best art, but it is available. The Pixel Remaster that came out, and as of this video, is coming out on other consoles as well, outside of just being available on PC, like PS4 and Switch. You do have the option of playing on the PS1, which is the way that I played it. It's basically the Super Nintendo version, but with some added bells and whistles and features. And yeah, there is because it's a port of the Super Nintendo, obviously it is slower a little bit here and there, but that's how I played the game in 2020 for the first time, or sorry, 2021 for the first time. And it didn't hinder my experience whatsoever. So you do have other options to play 6 outside of emulation or any of that other stuff. I would recommend going with the PS1 version if you're an old school retro gamer like myself. It is far cheaper, it's more available, and you don't have to worry about tracking down an original copy. I got it purely for merchandise purposes for my collection because it is one of my favorite games. So, but I would say to conclude this off, really awesome. I loved seeing this, and those are some other options for you guys to play 6 if you are interested in it. Definitely a lot of cheaper options out there than buying this one. Unless you're a collector, of course, of Final Fantasy merchandise or video games or Super Nintendo games or whatever it is. But thank you guys so much for checking this out. Let me know what you guys think about the unboxing in the comment section down below. I want to know what you guys have to say. Do you guys have a copy of Final Fantasy VI on the Super Nintendo? Are you guys massive collectors? Are you still looking for this game? What do you think about the game? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Maybe I'll review it someday. Who knows? But let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. Give the video a like if you did enjoy. And subscribe to the channel to catch more content like this and reviews and all sorts of other gaming nostalgic goodness in the future. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later. Peace out, nostalgics. Keep on gaming.